Here.
Commissioner Lodes.
Present.
Commissioner Suarez.
Here.
Commissioner Marchand.
Here.
Commissioner Taylor. Deputy Director Romero.
Excused.
Director Soleo.
Here.
Do I have a motion and second to pass legislation that will authorize public entities and local governments to electronically publish legal notices in newspapers, website, or digital publication? In an email dated June 20th, 2024, the Camden County Board of Commissioners notified the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners of Resolution 2024-00551, adopted at a meeting on June 20th, 2024, supporting and urging state leaders to pass legislation that will authorize counties, municipalities, school districts, and all local governments to electronically publish legal notices in newspapers, website, or digital publication. In mailing received from Riker Danzig, Cumberland County Board of County Commissioners received Calpine, New Jersey Generation LLC, notice of application for Title V permit renewal and environmental justice public hearing and open public comment period on August 22nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. concerning Sherman Avenue Energy Center located at 2600 Orchard Road in Sherman Avenue, Vineland, New Jersey.
All right, we're going to have the presentations, but we're going to reverse them.
Director, before we go on the presentation, can I ask you to make a comment on these correspondence?
Sure, please.
We always talk about open government. We always talk about, okay, we want to move forward, get more technology. I guess what I'm asking is this board considering doing the same thing with a resolution on this electronic notification? Because I really do believe it'll make a difference. A lot of people don't get the actual paper anymore, and that's what this used to be for, is mainly to save the newspaper industry, and I think that's kind of going by the wayside. You want to put it in the newspaper, that's fine, but I really do believe we should have a resolution asking the state to allow us to do this and have electronic publication. And I mean, there's a lot of times where we need to get a bid out right away, and we can't do it because of the newspapers. We can't get it to the newspapers right away. Sometimes it's an emergency. And I do
A study recently completed by the South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization, and we do have Jennifer Marandino, the Executive Director of SJTPO, with us this evening to field any additional questions. So on the screen, we have a short presentation, and we will. So the project area, what we tried to concentrate on the southern portion of the river. So it's the municipalities that are along the river corridor, Millville, Morris River, Commercial, and we did include either shoreline of the river running through Vineland up to Willow Grove Lake. The purpose of the study was to analyze the transportation corridor and to see what type of amenities recreationally there are, and to encourage economic development and make recommendations related to transportation connections, particularly to the river corridor itself. And this basically covers what we were just talking about. So it's a high-level planning approach. So it really wasn't meant to be very specific with detailed recommendations and budgets. It was meant to be more of a master planning study of the overall region and suggestions for further action.
And so the planning process overall took about a year to complete. We started last summer with existing conditions. We had focus groups of transportation and connectivity groups within the region, along with heritage and tourism groups. We had a steering committee that was comprised of 25 members. I believe we initially invited over 120 groups to participate in total. The focus group members, we had about 27 different people from different organizations come out to those meetings. We had an online survey that we launched at Morristown River Fest in September, and then carried that through to mid-November. We met with the advisory committee meeting each quarter to kind of touch base on the progress we made on the study. And so that's kind of in a nutshell, the overall planning process. We received 250 survey responses too, so that was a pretty well-received survey. As for public outreach, like I said, we had an advisory committee meeting. We met quarterly, so all four times. We had 2 focus groups, the public survey, and then we also had 2 public meetings. We had an open house in November where we had large maps printed out. We had public come, advisory committee members came, and as you can see in the picture, it was a map. People were writing down what they liked and didn't like about the area, where access could be improved, what are their favorite locations in the corridor, and then we had a second public meeting with a presentation on the draft plan, where the public could comment and then email additional comments after the meeting. The consultant, Michael Baker, did a pretty thorough existing conditions of all 3 towns in the Spine and Vineland. Some demographics in the corridor include the average age of 38.5 years old, median income about 60,000, industries, about over 16,000 residents over 16 years of age who are either employed or seeking employment, and potentially 62 businesses that could support ecotourism activity. There's a very detailed literature review included in the appendix of the document that inventoried all the town's master plans and zoning ordinances. There's also a pretty detailed business and ecotourism assessment along with the transportation assessment, and then there's some key findings up there on the slide. I'm not going to read them, but there's some interesting things based upon the existing conditions. A whole lot of mapping was done. These maps show the existing land use, the tourism and heritage sites, sea level rise in the corridor. Additional mapping was done for crash density, bus routes, and then also existing and proposed bikeway network. The one really cool thing the consultant did was this kernel density analysis. It's points of businesses and places in the region. They also overlaid that with cultural assets, took a look and identified gaps and created loops, which then in turn created our active transportation network in the corridor. So the map on the left shows kind of the hot spots of where there are things to do along the corridor, and from there the consultant developed a proposed network for biking or walking trails throughout the corridor.
And then additionally, the consultant took 5 areas along the river and kind of laid out possible, we're not quite there yet. So the transportation network, this is pedestrian and bicycle connections throughout the region. Again, these are just general recommendations. They didn't delve into the details of the site components of it, but they were looking at it from a macro perspective as far as if we were able to create connections, this is kind of where we would want to do that. They also talked about traffic calming, which is definitely an issue in a variety of communities along the river, and ways that you could slow traffic or make traffic safer going through communities. They also talked about economic development. There was an economic development sub-consultant that actually interviewed different businesses within the region and recommended a variety of actions, including agritourism, promotion of Airbnbs and short-term rentals, and capitalization of bivalve's existing waterfront designation, working waterfront designation. And one of the things that really caught their attention, and we noted it here, is the Local, which is a Philadelphia-based hotel company, actually has an A-frame cabin along Mars River on the Mars River Township side. And they promote that as a room within their hotel that you can reserve. And that is booked a year in advance. And so that really indicates this growing interest in the Philadelphia region of using our area as a recreational escape from the more urban centers. And if you have a chance to look up the Local Hotel's website, it's a really interesting component.
And so another piece of the recommendations was to create a branding plan for this corridor with uniform wayfinding signage. Huck Finn Park was an example that the consultant had developed for another location, but we also thought it'd be really complementary to go along with our existing county branding plan for the Mid-County Park and Fairgrounds. So kind of trying to keep with the color scheme that's kind of, neutral and natural tones. There's also an opportunity for educational field trips and programming, outdoor exhibits and signage, and also opportunities for school children to come down and visit the area and learn about it, kind of building upon the existing Bayshore Center already down in Bayou and Commercial Township as well. There's also a number of environmental opportunities, living shoreline restoration and protection. Again, building off of existing activities. The American Littoral Society has been proactive. There's Rutgers Haskins Lab also in the corridor, and the partnership with the Delaware Estuary. A lot of these nonprofits and anchor institutions are also participate with the Bayshore Council, so it's kind of taking what's currently working and building upon it so we can, see some traction and improvements in the area. Integrating nature-based solutions, commercial townships, a FEMA community disaster resilience community, corridor maintenance, and improving the water quality of the river so you can have primary contact with the water in certain locations. And then the consultant also looked at 5 different areas in the corridor that were publicly owned to kind of show high level how some of these recommendations can be implemented. So in the north we have Westside Park and Vineland, we have the area of Union Lake to Waltman Park, the preserves along the river, Morristown, and also Bayou. And again, these are just recommendations on how some of these recommendations in the plan can be implemented. Nothing is set in stone. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot more effort that will be needed to bring these kind of to fruition.
Right, they're conceptual at this stage, and there's a lot of discussion in the public outreach components about, well, we shouldn't have a boat ramp here, we should have a crosswalk here, and the design concepts aren't necessarily meant to be that specific. They're meant to show if we take the tenets of the plan and apply them to a specific site, what can be done at that site or what the general recommendations would encourage. So this is Westside Park and Vineland, owned by the City of Vineland currently, and they make recommendations on trail expansion and improvements to access to the water and a crosswalk so that kayaks can continue down the stream past the dam that's there on Almond Road. Just a variety of improvements.
And then the next site is Union Lake Beach to Waltman Park. These properties are all owned by the City of Millville, and so some examples of incorporating some active recreation like pickleball courts, since that is the #1 most popular new recreation activity in America. Also proposing an outdoor roller skating rink for the summer and an ice skating rink for the winter if it gets cold enough. Wildflower meadow with trails, interactive water features, Riverwalk swing to something that I believe is in Cincinnati. That's a really big tourism draw, and also an event lawn. And interestingly enough, the consultant found these really old Sanborn maps from 1915, and a lot of these recommendations that are being proposed kind of go hand in hand with what was actually once there at the site. So there used to be a theater and a bowling alley and like a carousel and a whole amusement park in Millville at some of these properties. So we thought that was kind of an interesting tie-in, kind of bringing it back to, the turn of the century.
And then the third one is connecting the preserves. This is the Peak Preserve on the east side of the river and the Mars River Bluffs on the west side of the river. I thought this was a really interesting one because they're actually managed by different nonprofits, but the connectivity possibilities there are immense. There's also City of Millville-owned property just to the north, so they proposed a variety of improvements there that could better connect these facilities together.
And so the fourth site that was chosen is the Morristown Causeway. This is where the The bridge goes over the river, and so we actually were able to work with Morris River Township. They have some plans with having a big fishing pier along the river bank, along with parking and food truck parking and, porta potties in the parking lot, and also kind of tying into the Morristown side in Commercial Township with their existing park over there, with some adapted fishing piers, a bike rental station, elevated walkways, river overlook, potentially a new cafe in Morristown, and a picnic area as well to kind of complement those uses.
And then the last one is bivalve. Obviously, there's a lot going on in bivalve with the Bayshore Center currently there, but they talked about maybe a public art program concentrating on oysters and promoting the oyster industry down there, expansion of the trail system, connectivity of the trail system, just a variety of options available. The study also looked at potential funding opportunities. There are many, both at the state and the federal and the nonprofit level. And they didn't go into specifics regarding that, but we, from experience, there are a number of opportunities that are potentially available to the county and to the municipalities that manage those individual sites.
And so lastly, what are the next steps? The consultant recommended establishing a Morris River Corridor Committee to keep the momentum going, building upon the study, looking forward, maintaining these partnerships and connections that have been made through the past year, and to also prioritize study recommendations based upon available funding, local buy-in, and maybe some of the design concepts or fleshing them out further to meet the community needs, and also to integrate the future plans and regulations in the study. The one thing that we have been kind of advocating to our towns is we're requesting that they add the study to their websites, and when they do their next master plan update, to incorporate the study into it so that has the basis to then continue to do the zoning recommendations, updating their standards as recommended in the plan.
And just to end it, I want to thank Jennifer and the South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization. They cover a large swath of South Jersey, and we have a great partnership with them. They're headquartered in Vinelands, which we're thrilled with, and we've just worked very closely with them, and they've been providing studies like this, which is very helpful for all our efforts in Cumberland County. And that's it.
Director, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
I had seen the whole program at, I call it the old 4-H Center. I don't know if you and it was very in-depth. What I would like to see the board give, I'm involved with the Recreation Commission, and I think what should be done is, one, we form the committee, but we also segment it. So like we go to Vine and say, okay, this is what was recommendation. Let's see how far they can go and what they can do. Then we go to Millville, do the same thing with Millville, it's Morristown, and then Bival. Okay, did I miss something in there? Okay. Doing that, then wherever there's a gap, then I'm hoping that the county will get involved to try to close those gaps. That was my idea. Asking you to come down here.
So you're speaking of representation from each
city.
Each city,
Yeah. Doing that, we can go to, we'll say, the city of Millville, okay? In Millville, this is what they're recommending, this is an idea. What do you think about it? What can you do? What can we do to help you? All right? Let's see what kind of grant money that we can get. And then go down from Vineland, which I think we're picking from just West Side Park, correct?
Right.
Okay, we start from there and we come down, all right? And when we get to Bival, that's the end of it. But I remember there were individuals from Morristown that were at the meeting, and they had some comprehensive ideas already. Okay, so this is something that we can work on, but let's go from there, and go to each city and see what we can do and how we can connect all the dots, is what I'm looking at. I don't know what you thought about that.
Director, also just to throw out that it should be the river has a designation of, this is what it's supposed to be with this wild city, is that it's a recreational river. and it's not a non-touch human river, and it should be told to, there's many organizations that have parts, as you pointed out, parts of this river and that we would love to tie into, or they could do their own thing to tie in. But it should be noted that, I say this, Director, because it was pointed out that the Morris River Township was trying to develop the causeway area, which we already talked that's back at. They wanted to create a place where boats could get on the river, and one of these organizations had a problem with that. We need them to work with us, not against us, because the more activities going on, the more this river stays bright and shiny and an active place. And I do like the idea that Commissioner Sarr threw out, the idea of empowering each community to be part of this, because they have everything to gain, and then we tag along because we can't do everything. That this way it gets done, and then they concentrate on their area. Millville is concentrating.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. That was exactly what I was going to say. Millville's done a great job of implementing that already, the Morris River.
Yes, and they have big plans for their riverfront, and which is great. If they got big plans, then let's be right with them. Let them lead. Don't reinvent the wheel. And this may happen quicker and sooner than if we just say, all right, we're going to command from this area and dictate what we're going to be done. So that's a good way of going about it. So thank you, Barry.
Any other questions?
Anyone else? Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to add?
I do not. The one thing I'll
Okay.
just say is that this is a planning level study. I think Matt and Alina kind of talked about that, right? So it's essentially a feasibility of what can be done to capture all of the ecotourism, to ensure that we're still preserving the river where appropriate, because there's opportunities to be one with nature out there. So I think that's part of it. So there's some sort of like meshing of what has to happen, doing those ecotourism, to look for those opportunities, but also respect the river and preserve things where appropriate. So this was just the initial step. In order to actually come into action, there's a lot of environmental considerations. Like there's very high level type of projections in terms of costs and recommendations. In order to advance any of them, a lot more work has to happen. So like what Matt and Elaine are talking about are not happening tomorrow, right? Like you're still talking years away from moving forward. I just want to put that into perspective, but I think we were very happy to be able to help out Cumberland County to kind of create this opportunity to some depressed areas that could really get some improvement down here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we have another proclamation.
Good job.
To hand out right now. So, Madam Clerk, you pull them up? I have the, you pull them up.
Karan Harris? Please stay.
Hello, everybody. I'll be brief. My name is Chris Volker. I'm the director of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Cumberland County. And if you don't know, we're out of school program that provides academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and citizenship programs to the youth in Cumberland County. We also provide a Youth of the Year program. So every year we choose an outstanding team, and they compete against other teams throughout the state for scholarship funds and that kind of thing. It's a very rigorous process. So we do have here tonight our Youth of the Year for 2023 and 2024. And I have to admit, he is an outstanding team. And if you want to come up, he's going to talk a little bit about, his experience at the club. He's been there over 7 years or 8 years? 8 years now. And we actually saw him grow up, pretty much. So he'll talk a little bit about his experience at the club and also as Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Adjust the microphone for him, so this way he can speak. There you go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Karan Harris. I have been at the Boys and Girls Club for 8 years now, and I have been honored to work there for 3 years now. Like Mr. Chris said, that I have been the local Youth of the Year for 2023 and 2024. The process has not been easy, but with the Boys and Girls Club, they push you and they strive for you. going there, I started out with a lot of anger. I started out as feeling as nobody really heard me. Even though I had the support at home from my mom being a single mother, the Boys and Girls Club, they built that foundation on me, and they taught me how to write resumes, they taught me how to write speeches, they taught me how to end sentences with punctuations, and I'm just honestly grateful that my mom found the Boys and Girls Club for me, because without the Boys and Girls Club, to be honest, I don't know where I would be today. So they have honestly grown me and matured me into the young man that I am today. Also, while being at the Boys and Girls Club, I was allowed to start 3 things. I started a snack store called the Snack Above Snack Store. I started a choir called the BGC Shining Stars, and still in developing my own program called Bowtie, which means being outstanding with talents, intelligence, and excellence. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, that's one hell of a resume.
And he's going to college. Come back to college.
Well, yeah, I actually, you know what? I think you should talk about yourself, because you just did a great job. Because on this proclamation, it says Karan Harris is 18 years old, correct? All right, just making sure they got all the stats down. Right? Special recognition is expressed in honor of you for your achievement for 23-24, right? Okay. You recently competed in the New Jersey State Youth of the Year title. Now, tell me a little bit more about that.
So, being local youth of the year, you get a chance to compete for the state title, which is, I believe, 13 or 14 other clubs within the state of New Jersey. And we went up North Jersey and we had a fun night. We stayed overnight. And then it's a long process from early in the morning to late at night, where you go to interviews and have fun with other youth and also be interviewed by judges. So I didn't get the state title, but they have allowed, but I was close to it. They have allowed me at the Boys and Girls Club to win local title twice.
Okay, now how do you win local title? What kind of
You
requirements?
win local title by being committed, being hardworking, and doing basically your job, and being active, very active in the community.
Very good, very good. That's good to hear. Now tell me a little bit more about this bow tie.
So Bowtie, with me, ever since I was younger, I always liked dressing up, wearing suits to church and everything like that. And I never really liked wearing ties. I always liked wearing bow ties. I don't know why, but they just always seemed more appealing to me. And so my other boss, Ms. Ethel, she was like, Karan, why don't you start a program? I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, you like wearing bow ties. Every time you go out somewhere, you're in a bow tie. I was like, that's a good idea. And that's when I came up with bow tie, which is being outstanding with talents, intelligence, and excellence, which is to show all the youth that you can be talented, you can be intelligent, and you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Very good, young man. Now, let's see. And you're the first one that actually did it for me. But on behalf of the Cumberland County Commissioners, I'd like to present this proclamation in honoring you for your talents and for your efforts. And in the future, knock him dead. He's a lot bigger than you, but
Sit down. Just stand up.
yeah. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Karan, tell them where you're going to school, please.
I'll be going to Norfolk State University, and I'll be majoring in sociology and minoring in criminal justice. My family, come on.
How about we come up here?
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's better for the ladies.
It's probably easier to come this way, guys. Oh, you want to come over?
It's a better lady.
Stand here. Can you get me a picture?
Yeah, it's
Go for everybody.
Come on.
Get up and down.
You can all fit in here. Come on in.
Okay.
Hey, guys, get in there. And I don't think we're going to be able to get by him as far as the pictures is concerned. He's thinking. What's your mom feed you? I gotta get some of that. Come on, guys, come around here. Give us yours, come around. And we'll never get past this guy. He's in. I tell you what, I got, what position you want?
You never put that?
Feel good? All good? All right, congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, public comment for resolutions only, please. State your name, address, and bring this around.
Can you get that? There you go.
I can get
All
it.
right, okay.
Thank you very much. Good to have real people.
Back in the house, we're back in the house.
We had a nice gentleman here that was very kind of you to recognize him. I'm Nancy Ridgway from Upper Deerfield and Fairfield Townships. And we have a couple of resolutions tonight that I'm wondering about. We have a resolution 2024-414. This is a resolution rescinding resolution 2023-817, awarding a contract for providing middle mile broadband grant program expert consulting and advisory services for counties of Cumberland and Salem County. It says here, whereas on December the 19th, 2023, this board adopted resolution 23-817, awarding the contract, and your financial officer has advised that it is necessary to rescind the resolution because the Board of County Commissioners desires to terminate the contract for convenience. And it says in here that this termination for convenience is allowed by the RFP pursuant to the executed contract. Well, I looked up the resolution from 2019, or from 2023, and the contract was for a period from December 23 continuing until the June 30th of 25, and with additional one-year periods. I think it's 2 one-year periods of extending this contract. And I don't know why you're canceling it. I don't know if we're going to be sued or not, and I guess that's my real concern, is by terminating this contract, since it's been in effect since November until now.
Can you repeat the question, Mrs. Ridgway? I didn't quite hear what you said.
The contract was for a period of December the 1st, 2023, until June the 30th of 25.
What was your question, though?
I want to know if we're going to be sued.
Sued. Thank you. I didn't hear what you had said. Thank you.
And then I would like to have a correction on this resolution, because it says, whereas on December the 19th of 2023, this board adopted the resolution 2023-817. And I looked it up. And this particular resolution was November the 28th, 2023. Resolution 2023-817. So your resolution tonight needs some correction.
Okay, well,
I done my homework.
We'll give you an answer, I guess, after the other questions come up. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wood.
No, I'm not done yet. Who's timing me? How many minutes I got?
One more minute.
I got 1 more minute?
Yeah?
That was a quick 5. And then the change order on Resolution 2024-421. I love this change order. I really do. It's for the middle mile broadband grant. This change order request will add the needed environmental assessment. Boy, we're doing a lot of environmental assessments. I see a lot of resolutions that come through here with environmental assessments. Tonight we heard about the environment and how important it is, and nobody seems to want to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ridgway. Anyone else want to come up public? Anyone else for the public?
Motion closed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So,
Solicitor or,
between us,
or two of you?
they're
probably.
bookend resolutions, they relate to each other,
Yes, they do.
right? So essentially, you're taking money that was slated for Tectonic, and it's going to EN Engineering, which the group, meaning Salem and Cumberland representatives, have agreed is better equipped to provide the work that you require. And by the way, in your contract, when you go out, right, you say termination for convenience is a right of the county. And to take it one step forward, our CFO has actually reached out and said that this board would be acting rather than have frayed nerves after it acts. Is that fair?
That is fair. I would just add that, so Tectonic was awarded like $420,000, and the scope of their work was to assist us throughout the process. And as we got through with EN Engineering, we found that a lot of that could be duplicated between what EN Engineering is doing. So we have the termination for convenience, just to part ways amicably. Any balances that they are owed for work that they had done, we would of course pay. But we don't foresee that there's anything additional. And of the remaining contract balance, it's probably about $350,000 is going to be amounts that were not spent. So that comes back to the middle mile budget. And like John put, that essentially funds the ability for the change order for EN Engineering. Yeah. And then the contract has a 30 days convenience clause that any party can mutually just say, hey, we want to part ways.
And both companies in the county are,
Mr. Ridgway, I'm sorry, Director, Mr. Ridgway, you just said that this is going to be that's a wipeout, so that the money that comes back will take care of that change order for seeing it. So we're just getting ahead of it right now, getting it out there, and then when it gets done and canceled, we'll see this at a later date, the money moved over. Right, that's what you just said.
Yeah, we'll process it after if the resolution's adopted, my staff will then issue the notice to Tectonic, and then we'll make sure that all balances are paid up. They've already had a conversation.
The money we're allocated to EN or CN or whatever, what we allocate, that will come out of this money that we're getting back. Okay.
So the change order then, that we're saying it's a change order and it's an increase of $165,000, in essence, after we cancel that money's coming back in. Is that how I'm understanding this?
Yeah, the balance of the contract remaining for Tectonic is no longer needed, so then it no longer becomes funds encumbered. So we are then taking that unrestricted money and assigning it to this change order. So it's
to EN.
Yeah. So
I
in
guess
the end, the amount that we have against the grant budget is less than what we started as against.
The important thing Mr. Ridgway wanted, no, we can't get sued. Everything is squared away. We're all nice and safe. They already had it in the contract that, we both can leave amicably and it'd be okay.
And we are not saying that Tectonic did anything.
No.
They did nothing wrong. They did what we asked them to do. But once we hired EN Engineering, we recognized that there would be a duplicity of services. That they would just be doing the same thing. And if EN can do it and do the whole job, it was thought that it would be better.
Well, she was just concerned about the lawsuit, and there is no lawsuit.
And it's much more frugal to do in this fashion than the other.
The best part about it is I made you discuss it. Thank you.
let's move on.
When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by the Board of County Commissioners will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any commissioner board member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Do I have a motion and second to vote by consent agenda on resolutions 2024-363 through 2024-408?
So moved.
Second.
Director, I have to abstain from a couple, and I'll mention the numbers
So do I.
already, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you want the extensions now, Director?
We can, no, let's
As we call them.
Yep, let's-
As I call you.
Yeah, vote on each.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yeah.
Yes is the vote, but with abstentions with 365, 373, 387, and 399.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes, abstention on 2024-387.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Do I have a motion and second to adopt resolution 2024-363 through 2024-408 by consent?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes, with the exceptions. Yeah.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes, with exceptions.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-409, resolution amending resolution 2022-228, authorizing a contract for providing COVID testing services for the Cumberland County Department of Corrections. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-410, resolution approving budget amendment fiscal year 2025 Alliance to Prevent Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, $142,142. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-411, resolution authorizing county for housing of pre and post adjudicated juveniles. Do I have a motion and second? Juveniles. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-412, resolution providing for dollars aggregate principal amount of general improvement bonds of the County of Cumberland, New Jersey into a single issue of general improvement bonds. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-413, resolution determining the form and other details of
We do $6 million bonding for different things, and Mr. Ridgway explained to me that you really can't get people buying those bonds, so he holds off until we can put them into a bigger bond that people compete for, which is actually smart, because they may bid on a lower amount for a rate, whatever, for us. So it's a smart move, and he's been, I guess, doing this for years, or at least the department's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But it's still a good continuance of a good practice.
Yeah. So, yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-414, resolution rescinding resolution 2023-817, awarding a contract for providing middle mile grant program expert consulting and advisory services for counties of Cumberland and Salem, RFP number 23-40, and terminating contract. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-415, resolution certifying compliance with regulations of the local finance board of the state of New Jersey. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-416, resolution accepting the corrective action plan for the 2023 audit. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes, with a comment that, again, our chief financial officers led us through a audit that we have no corrective action, which is, since I've been here, since he's been in this position, it's been the norm. So that's a good kudos to you and to the department, the people who work with you that happens. So thank you.
Appreciate that, and I'll relay that to my staff.
Yes.
Good job.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Well, I have to also make a comment. I've never been on the board and didn't have correction act, so I commend you greatly. The answer, my vote is yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Well, it's an easy one, with no corrective action. Cool. Yeah.
Commissioner Taylor.
That's just what you can do next year.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-417, resolution authorizing purchase from the New Jersey State contract vendor for replacement of 4 drive hoist belts at the parking garage, elevators 1 and 2 for the Cumberland County Department of Public Works. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yeah, quick comment. It's good that we continue to make improvements and fixing things that or maybe fix a break in the future. We're attacking problems where they happen, so this is a yes for this.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Abstain.
Resolution 2024-418, resolution approving budget amendment Workforce New Jersey grant, $2,398,158. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-419, resolution approving budget amendment Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, $6,139,254. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-420, resolution approving budget amendment WIOA data reporting analysis, $12,971. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-421, resolution approving change order number 1 to contract for providing middle mile grant program engineering services for the counties of Cumberland and Salem, RFP number 23-45. Do I have a motion and
So
second?
moved.
Second. Commissioner Albrecht.
Before I say yes, I just want to make sure that it was said again, and Commissioner Marchand also asked the same question, that in an eventuality, this numbers will move, so it has to be presented this way, but eventually it'll turn around when the money's, this is money that's already there for this project, so, yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
So now with this one, I know that we had a discussion earlier regarding essentially the money is going to be shifted over, so this isn't going to cost us any additional funds. But I also have another concern with this, which is evaluations that you have to come back on the towers. Without having those evaluations come back, I don't think we should spend any more money. I don't think anything else should be approved to this point. So my vote's no.
Commissioner Taylor.
No.
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 Director Soleo.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-422, resolution approving budget amendment fiscal year 2025 medication-assisted treatment initiative, $403,451. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Director Soleo.
Yes. Treasury report.
Yeah, I got a problem.
Began the month of May with a cash balance of $7,901,577.83. Cash receipts of $34,458,180.01. Taxes came in. Cash disbursements of $20,988,768.19, ending the month of May with a cash balance of $21,370,989.65. Itemized list of investments that never changes because we reported at what it cost us is $61,996,731.20. With a motion and second, you can accept and file. No secret, yeah, we had the audit done. You guys just approved it. I know I'd say that I'm going to pass off the kudos to my staff, but really it's county-wide, so everybody plays a part in it, so everyone in all the departments and divisions deserve the credit of, hey, we got through another year. Other than that, I'm good.
Motion to accept.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion and second for authorizing payment of all salaries and wages?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I believe commission report should be switched. We should
Yeah,
have
I
public
think so,
comment
yeah.
next. Do I have a motion and second to open public comment period?
New business.
Or new business only?
Anybody
All in
from the
favor?
public want to come up? State your name. Where you're from. And any other information you want to give us.
Sandy Acevedo, Upper Deerfield Township. It's more of a request than a question. The CCIA as the county economic development arm and spending the public money as it is, we feel that it may be a good time for the CEO to come before this public body who's paying the bills and give us a presentation on all the projects that they're working on that involve county taxpayer funds. That's my request. And then there's one question. The CEO of CCIA is up for contract renewal at tomorrow night's meeting. Does this board approve that contract before it can become effective, or is that another autonomous board?
They're a separate board, but the commission can veto if necessary.
Thank you.
Jennifer Webb McCray. I'm here in my private capacity as a citizen of Vineland, New Jersey. I just heard the report on the Morris River plan. I have a special connection to Morris River because my grandmother lived down there and much of my family still lives there. In fact, the house that Matt Pazarski mentioned, A Locale, which is a Airbnb, one of the only in the county, was my grandmother's house. And when I sold it, I saw the value in it. We cleared out the lot down to the river because it's a beautiful area with a beautiful view. But I wish I had known that it was going to be every single weekend, because I would have probably tried to convince my family to hold on to it and turn it into an Airbnb. But I want to just thank you for the work that you're doing and thank the board for recognizing this beautiful gem that we have in our community, which can increase property values as well as create jobs in our community. You know, down in that little area of Dorchester, there's really one place to get pizzas, that's George's, and the Wawa. Imagine if there were 10 Airbnbs in that area. We'd probably have cafes, and I know that it produces jobs because my cousin's wife cleans the place between renters. So there really is potential in this area, and I think that there should be recognition to Commissioner Albrecht for having that vision to create a park system and create a place where people want to come to. This is a beautiful, idyllic area with wide open space and good people. So whatever I can do personally to support the initiative, I pledge my support because I do see the potential in our area. Thank you.
Madam Prosecutor, before you step down, when we've talked about the economic development in the area and so forth, a lot of times people forget about tourism, and that is economic development. And the area economic development, because they're thinking, you know, industries and buildings. Yeah, that comes along with it, but we want to keep things as pristine as possible. You're right, Commissioner Albrecht had a vision on that. A lot of people over the years had that vision. I mean, this is something that's not new. It's just that now this commission is starting to take the ball and start running with it. And we're moving forward. This is the concept portion of this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more planning that has to go into it before we even start. And I like what Commissioner Sorrow said was that, you know, you start off with the elephant and you take small bites. You know, that's how you could actually finish that elephant. But committees of different areas, I want to see it collaborated where if you are involved or anybody wants to get involved, the collaboration is still one lead on this thing. Because if you don't have the one lead, if you have different ideas, then people start butting heads too, so you have to watch that as well. So I wanted to make that point.
Sure. If I may, thank you for the comment, but I'm going to say this, and from my perspective, that private industry, if they see it, they'll be far ahead of where we're at as government entities planning. They will take and run the ball, just like that house is a starting point. Other people have to see that. We won't be sitting here pondering. It'll just take off on its own and roll because people see the potential. And like you, there are other people out there seeing that. That's amazing. That we want to. It'll be far ahead of what a government entity could do, and that's the best. That's what it seems great.
A former member and chair of the Vineland Planning Board, it does take a little bit of vision from government as well. Yeah. But there's a balance between the environment as well as industry. But I think what really highlights the potential is that it can increase property values, it can create jobs for lower income people as well. So that's the potential, and you absolutely can balance the environmental interest against things that make our community a nicer place to live.
Thank you. Anyone else? State your name and where you're from.
My name is Lisa Shelton, and I'm from Commercial Township. First, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to address you tonight. I'm a lifelong resident of Haleyville, and recently, about 5 years ago, I moved to a house on the corner down the street from where I grew up. I've seen the aftermath of more accidents on Steep Run Road than I can count, than I can remember. However, the fatal accident that occurred this past Thursday, I was one of the first on the scene. Sorry.
That's okay.
This took place on the corner that I live on.
Take your time.
I understand that the fatal accidents happen around the county, around the state, and around the country every single day. I'm reminded of this, and I don't take this lightly, but I want to know what is going to be done to protect the citizens of this corner. This is not the first horrible accident. This will not be the last. I've installed a Ring doorbell on my camera, or on my door that faces this intersection, and for the past 2 days, I have a record of people running it constantly. I thank you, Commissioner Sorrow, for coming out the day after the accident to figure out what happened. I thank you for posting some sheriff's officers there. However, they need to be there sooner. Today they showed up after 2 o'clock, 2:40 to be exact. The trucks stop running at 2 o'clock. They run from 6 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the evening. And all day long they've run that light. And I invite each and every one of you to come down and see the safety concerns that are at this intersection. There is no triangle of visibility coming from Highland to North Avenue. None. The woman that was killed was coming off of Highland, and the dump truck that hit her with her 4 children in the car was coming off of North Avenue. can you please tell me what we're going to do about this? Because I never want to see this happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Hey, well,
I'm happy to talk with anybody else.
we're gonna approach your subject in a minute,
Thank you.
because it's, have a seat. I want you to take it easy, because I know you're all shook up. Back to the national water. You want some water? All right, sir.
Yeah, my name's Eric Erickson. I live in Morristown. This was a great presentation about the Marsh River corridor. I just have a question and then a comment and then something along the lines with the accident. Was there any transportation study or anything incorporated with what you guys did?
Do we have representation still?
So there was an inventory done of, the roadways and, some of the issues that were brought about with the consultant through public outreach and with different focus groups and advisory committees. And one of the issues that was noted was, the speeding of cars. And so that's partially where some of those traffic calming measures were recommended. For roadways where that's kind of, where that's seen and it's been noted that it's happened, but there weren't any specific traffic recommendations. Everything was just a high level. We did note some of those things in the plan.
Right. I've lived my whole life in Haleyville and Morristown. I lived currently on Noble Street in Morristown. Just, it's terrible what happened, and this has been an ongoing thing. I've met with the county roads and signs. I've met with the committee of our township and commercial. I met with the plant manager at US Silica. The list goes on and on. I've met with everybody. This has been a 20-year fight for me. And when I tell people when they want to come to Morristown or want to visit the area in Bivalve, I said, come down, check it out. It's very nice. Be careful. This sand trucks will run you over. My mother was struck by a sand truck, and by the grace of God, survived it, and that was 20 years ago. My father, who lived in Haleyville, was on his way to work, and at the Morristown Causeway, across the bridge again, at the Morristown bypass, there was a fatal that he had rolled up on. This was not a one-time event, and as the lady said, this is not going to be the last event, I'm afraid. I'm coming here tonight because of the corridor and the moving forward, and we want to see things move forward. We have a terrible, terrible transportation problem. There's 3 main corridors into that area: 553, Morristown Bypass, and Steep Run Road where the accident was on. In Morristown, we have an ordinance. The ordinance states that there's to be no trucks in Morristown, but this accident happened one intersection over. I mean, I would hope that there would be an ordinance maybe going forward for Haleyville. I know this has to be done on the township level. The last thing that was told me that it was their responsibility to get a handle on the owner-operator trucks, because it's not their own personal trucks. It's not like back in the day when they had Portnars Express or Maury Company had their own trucks. These are all owner-operators. But here we are, we have all these entities, state police, we have county parks and roads, the community itself, US Silica, and everybody goes, well, the GPS said that for my truck to go this way, so I go this way through town, or I go down Steep Run Road, or this or that. I'm just saying, I'm before the board, we need help. Before any of this moves forward, we have to have a traffic plan in place where these trucks are funneled to certain roads, like you can go to other places and there's truck routes, and that's the only roads that they're allowed on, and that enables enforcement to become easier for the local police. But at this time, the only ones that we don't have our own local police, we have the state police. The state police is undermanned, understaffed, and just don't have the resources for enforcement. So I encourage this board, I encourage our township moving forward, our mayor, to try to get a hold on this, but it's going to have to be a township, county-wide thing to get a hold of this traffic pattern. And one other thing about it, we were talking about bivalve. Bivalve has now 2 barges that take 500 truckloads each to fill. So we're now introducing another 1,000 loads, whatever that is. I'm not sure if that's a weekly or a bi-weekly thing, but there's another 1,000 sand trucks into a residential community with 3 arteries, 3 roadways coming in. So please, please urge you guys and the community in general that we get a handle on this and we come up with ideas and we come up with a transportation plan before any moving forward with this, because I'd hate to see somebody come from Pennsylvania to go to an Airbnb and there's this sand truck. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? State your name and your address, where you're from.
Brian Griffiths, County Route 710, Station Road, Leesburg. Who we talked to about getting a drainage ditch repitched on the side of the road?
Public Works.
Okay, I've put it in 6 times already, and basically, we inspected it, it's fine. I've been told that. I've been told it's on the residents to clean it. Well, I've been the only one cleaning it, and I've been doing it since 2015.
Where is this, sir?
Station Road, Leesburg.
Station Road, thank you.
I've been doing it since 2015 out there with the garden rake. Believe me, I have much better things I'd rather be doing than cleaning a ditch on the side of the road. But I have to get my water out of my yard and the water out of my next door neighbor's yard. Now, these flow down to another, they go under Station Road to another stream. That stream's fine. But apparently it's not fine because the county's out there, put a dirt road across the DEP ground and then re-dredged the whole stream. They're re-dredging a bunch of streams back there, but they were fine. The side that needs to work, nothing's tapped. And I submit requests for it and get blown off on it, so.
How long ago was that?
How long ago? Well, the most recent was this afternoon. 6/6, 6/18, 6/19, 6/20.
Who'd you speak to?
Excuse me?
Who'd you speak to?
I can't get through on the phone. I'm on the internet filling out the request online.
Okay.
And then I get an email back saying, giving me a case number, and then I get an email back maybe an hour or 2 later that the case is closed.
Leave your address with the clerk and Public Works.
And a phone number.
Yeah, please.
What side of the road do you say that they don't touch? What side? The north side?
The odd number side.
The odd number side.
Thank you. All right, just leave out all the information and take a look at it. First of all, I want to say that, in fact, I was going to say something earlier after the silent meditation, but what had happened at that intersection is a horrible thing. It is truly horrible. My wife and I, when we heard, we were flabbergasted. It was just a horrible thing. There's nothing else that anybody could say. As Public Works, I have Jim Sorrow and I have Deputy Director Romero, and on it right away. Like you said, Jim Sorrow was there within minutes at that. Well, give or take. It's a bit of a drive from up here down there. But the point is that we're on it right away. We had another fatality not too long ago, a few weeks back, two twin 23-year-olds killed on Union Road crossing. And we resurrected as much as we can what the county's allowed to do for road work and or deterrence of traffic to speed like the Dickens. And I understand the sand trucks because, you know, I worked in Millville for 25 years and I used to supplied those sand trucks, and I know exactly what they do.
And you just put in a walking path there.
Yep.
Actually, the
That
accident
could be
ruined
worse.
the walking path.
Yes,
They're
that's all we need,
repaving
right?
it.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
We are looking into it right now. We made some modifications to Union Road as soon as we came. Jim had it analyzed. We have a new director of public works. He's in it 2 months now, Kevin. He's been on it like you can't imagine. It's like white on rice, as they say. There's a lot we can do. We need to talk to the engineers on these things to move faster and further and quicker. It's becoming a problem, and I am very much aware of the barges over there, that they're increasing the amount of loads that are going to be coming through there. I spoke with the mayors already. So it's, I just want you to understand that we have a heart. We know what you're going through. We don't live it because we're not there. But accidents occur everywhere, as you know. You mentioned it yourself. And it's not just isolated to Port Norris or to Bivalve or to Down Township. We had a washout just last Saturday where the mayor's son could have been killed. The road washed right out. His truck flips. Thank God he wasn't hurt. And again, we had our team down there. Right away, we have the sheriff's department out right away to make sure the road's closed. They're understaffed as well, unfortunately. They need more personnel. Hopefully now what we've done over the course of the year to get their salaries up, we'll see more and more recruits, and we're seeing it now. We're putting Band-Aids on a lot of things that have been broken for a long time. Commissioner, you want to make a statement?
Yeah, I was out there. We talked. Okay. Mechanically, when I say mechanically, I'm talking about signs. We got about every piece of signage we can have right now. We have 4 4-foot stop signs and 4 3-foot stop signs. So you have a 4-foot on your side, 3-foot on the other side so you can see. We have signs up ahead stating that there are stops ahead. We have rumble strips. We have 2 brand new blinking lights. I don't know how you can miss them, but we have 2 brand new blinking lights. I do like the idea, the gentleman, is he still here in the back? Okay. Maybe, you know, we have to go with the engineering, but we definitely got to get okays from the townships, the city, in order to do something like that, where you have a truck route. We as a county can't make that. We can't dictate that.
The state's got to get involved.
Right? And the state's going to be involved. One of the things I found out, okay, and found out the hard way, because, you know, it's like you do it and then you get your hands slapped and you don't do it again. But, you know, you're allowed to enhance an intersection, but you're not allowed to change it. If you enhance it, the state stays out of it. If you change it, then the state gets involved with it. Okay? For instance, if you want to put up a blinking light, right, like we did on Sherman and Hansbridge, all right? That took 3 years to get. Imagine that, 3 years to get the blinking light. And the county worked diligently. We worked and got we actually had grant money. And we couldn't use it because we couldn't get okays from the state of New Jersey. I mean, this is what we have to deal with. So I really like your idea about a truck route and see where we can do something like that. I'm not sure what else mechanically we could put up in that area. I really don't. We even put the sign back for, what do you call it? The
saying that there's a stop ahead, and here you have people running stop street. I mean, the only thing else we can do is actually have people on the board go out and drive the truck.
Sheriffs were pulling people over left and right.
And you know, again, the director made the statement that the sheriff's department, we're short-staffed, because then we put sheriff's officers at the road that they caved in due to the water. So, I mean, we're trying to stretch, and we're paying overtime for this stuff. I mean, this is what we're doing, but we're trying to do something to protect the citizens of Cumberland County. Could you come up and talk, please?
Thank you.
He's having closed public comment.
I just wanted to say that we really already do have a truck route in place there, and it's the Morristown bypass. So right when you come off of the Morristown Bridge, the Morristown bypass was put in so that it bypassed the communities, and it
Okay,
doesn't...
but is it designated as the official?
Did it say truck route?
I don't know if it's truck route or
Well,
not.
no, see, that's what we need.
But the road is, it's there, and in this case, if that truck had gone literally one block further to the bypass, it would have bypassed the whole, and that's a school corridor too. And that sidewalk that you're talking about, they're using that so that the elementary age children are going to walk from the school up to the ball field on that very route and have to cross at that very intersection.
Okay.
So it's horrifying to think that it can happen to more people.
You can state your name, by the way.
Oh, I'm Kathy Erickson.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Ms. Erickson, the director's here of Public Works, and we can take a look at that.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
We're talking East Run Road, Highland Street, and North Avenue, correct?
Yes.
Intersection.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, it's...
Where the cemetery is.
Yes, it's the intersection of Route 633 and Route 676.
Director, may I make a comment?
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming in tonight, and everybody who came and spoke on behalf of this issue. I can tell you a couple things. In my personal experience, I live right off of Hinsbridge Road. My brother was thrown 60 feet off of a tractor because of somebody speeding down a county road. Believe me, I understand very much how this hits home. Furthermore, I'm 43 years old and I have 2 children, and I very much identify with the woman that was killed in this accident. I know that on a county level that we are following our national highway safety protocols, and I know that that sounds just like words when we're talking about a mother losing her life and 4 children not having a parent. I understand all of that. I know that our engineer is working on this. I know that Kevin Sminiato, our Director of Public Works, is working diligently on this. And I want to make that known that we are on top of this, as you can see from Commissioner Sorrow being out there almost immediately, and I appreciate that, Commissioner Sorrow. Thank you for doing that, as you are the liaison for Public Works. You did make a comment about working with each individual municipality on our Marsh River Corridor study. And I think that maybe this would be another point of discussion moving forward on top of everything that we are already doing, on top of everything our engineer is doing, on top of what our director is doing and our sheriff's officers. We do a lot of resolutions at the county level. Perhaps maybe talking to each of our municipalities when we're discussing the Marsh River Corridor study, we could ask for a resolution in support of providing truck routes, designated truck routes as well.
And what can we do as citizens in regards to speaking with our own townships about that?
Well,
I would go to those township meetings for sure. The same way you guys came here tonight. I very much appreciate you taking your time.
There are meetings already in set up for.
I can just tell you that we've done that, and their actual response to us has been, we can't tell the truck drivers what roads to use.
Well, that's the common sense answer, unfortunately. That's the real answer. You can't make a trucker do anything because of what, but he'll face the consequences, what's going to happen to this particular trucker who hit this poor woman. You can't make anybody, you can't twist their arm because they're getting, and I know it's happening, guys, they get paid by the load.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So they're trying to make 3 or 4 runs in a day, and they're speeding like a bat out of hell. I get it. Believe me, we get it here. The problem is, If someone's gonna speed, they're gonna speed. I saw an accident on 55 where a woman got onto the on-ramp, almost stopped the truck dead in its tracks. It had a very large projectile in the back of it on its payload. It went through the header, went through the headboard, knocked the engine right off the vehicle, almost killed the woman. But she didn't know. She just kept going. The trucker was not hurt one bit, thank God. The point is that people don't pay attention to what they're doing when they're driving. It's a problem we have in this, just in this area alone. We just think that, oh, it's all barren. We could go bat out of hell. We could do 90 miles an hour. And you can't do that. You just can't. It's not safe anyway, especially on the highways, the roads that we have here.
Director, there's another comment. I did get a call from Mayor Sut. He called because he wanted the signage up right away. I took it, and I may be wrong, that we just put up a four-way stop.
We did. I just talked about
It was 16 days before the accident that the stop was put up.
And
Those lights were there, those
And we still went through it.
warning signs were taken down immediately after the four-way was put up, and they weren't put back until the day after the accident.
And Mayor Sutton called, and thanks to Commissioner Sorrow, responded to get them up with our director. So you're right, but the goal of this four-way stop was to slow, hopefully to stop this, but of course they blew right through it. But this discussion about the trucks this is not new. This has been, and I know you know, but it's been from this commission, previous commission, always talked about how the trucks run through and how we could stop it. They didn't want them on the main drag to Morristown, the bypasses where they were trying to push them. So it's not. So we just got to keep working at it. It's a tragedy, but we can't stop. We got to keep it in the forefront. And actually, I did know when they went over to talk to the sand plant, the operators, to get the trucks to make sure they stay on a certain route, also their speed, and the enforcement of it. So we just have to be vigilant and keep pushing. It's not going to go away, because it's been pointed out that they got two.
Well, one of the things I'd like to just to make sure everybody understands that we follow national highway safety protocols. That's we have to do that. We follow those protocols. And right now the engineers are studying this issue, trying to figure out what can be done. One of the things I would really like to get out to the public is sometimes you have a sense of false security, especially at a four-way. You think that vehicle's coming and that it's going to stop because it's a four-way. So one of the things I'm telling you is, when you're at a four-way and you see a vehicle, wait until it stops, okay? I know that sounds like, well, that's what you're supposed to do, but sometimes people come up, they see a vehicle, and well, they're gonna stop, and so I can just take off. So that's one of the things that we have to watch out for. But the engineering part of it, as I said, I really do like the truck route idea. We're going to see if that can be done. I don't know if it can be done legally. We're going to talk to council. Again, we follow the protocols.
We'll have the director of public works speak to council, and then we'll look and see what we can do at that point. The problem is we still can't make a vehicle do anything. Again, it'll suffer the consequences, either by being fined and/or being in another accident. But the problem is you got hard-headed drivers that are going to be out there just not going to pay attention. And if you put a stoplight up there, are they going to blow through it? We've seen that happen too.
Exactly. Eric and I were actually talking, and we had seen these large speed humps. They have them by Eldora Church, I think. And they're just very large speed humps. And we were thinking, I don't know if that would be a viable solution.
We are considering that already.
Oh, okay. Yes. Because I understood that the guy said, the driver said, I forgot. And he didn't see it. And you're right, there's a blinking light. There are 4 rumble strips on each side. There's a straightaway. It's very clear. I don't know what else you
could do.
The
only thing you got to watch with the speed bumps, okay, is liability.
Yeah.
That's where engineering comes in, because you could lose control.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we were looking at is making the rumble strips thicker, if that's possible.
I think The engineer will attest to the fact that these are max.
Your max, okay.
From what I understand, they're maxed out.
Okay.
All of these are now, they are higher grade, they're a much more durable product, they last much longer, and they're to withstand.
I mean, you know, we're doing about everything we possibly can, but again, we have to follow protocol, highway protocol, national highway protocol.
Understood.
So, that being said, we're going to be in contact with the townships, okay, and we're going to see what we can do. Again, I was out there talking with you, and you knew I was serious about, maybe we can get, we'll talk to the sheriff and see if we can get the officers out there a little earlier, okay, and see if we can do something like that. But again, I'm going to be honest, we don't have all the answers. We just don't have the answers, okay? I mean, when you go to that intersection, it's almost like a Christmas tree. There's red everywhere. So let's see how it works out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And we thank you for working along with our township. We appreciate that.
We've got your backs, believe me, on this. All right, we're going to dispense of the commission report?
Yes.
Any further?
And we have
a closed public comment.
No, we're starting to close right now.
Right.
Close right now.
I think you have another.
Ms. Ridgway. Can we have something else? Okay, one more. Ms. Ridgway?
I'm really sorry what went on down that way. Good presentation from all of you. I'll keep this short and sweet because I know you want to go home. I'm Nancy Ridgway from Upper Deerfield and Fairfield Townships. Earlier, you were talking about electronic posting of the legal ads. Or is that on your website posting or the electronic edition of the newspapers?
Digital newspapers.
Okay, that's the digital, well, the newspaper is digital here. It's hard to get a hard copy unless you go to the library.
Ms. Ridgway, we stated earlier that hard copies would still be present.
I understand that.
Okay.
But it was brought to my attention that your minutes of your commissioner meetings have not been posted on the website since January. Can we take care of that?
There was a glitch, and it's being posted.
Okay.
It's been taken care
There was
of.
something on the website? Is that
There was a
what you're
glitch with our minute track, and they're being posted.
Updated. Thank you very much. Have a nice holiday, and I guess I'll see you in a month.
Have a good Fourth.
Don't forget to tell everybody that there's no work session in July and August.
It'll be advertised.
It'll
be advertised.
But you got people here tonight. People don't read the paper.
Still on the website.
That's why
They don't look at your website either, except me.
there you go.
At least you got one viewer, right?
You got one.
Okay. Let's bring it to close, please.
Have a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so dispense of commission reports.
There's no executive session that I'm aware of.
We're not going to make any comments about the director reports at all.
We can talk about it.
Well, I just want to point out that our Jake's Park, and I wanted to congratulate the planning department and also future, our library, that the Jake's Park is real, and we got the money, it's going to happen, and hopefully there'll be things coming off of that. I think it's a special thing, and I know you guys worked hard to get that, so pat yourselves on the back. So,
thank you, Commissioner.
All right.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:33.
This has been a QVC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QVC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and